I was standing on the stairs when the Pearl Harbor announcement was made. I can remember looking down at the carpet and thinking my life would never be the same again. Nancy Potter, 16 years old. You've heard about World War II heroes, but have you ever wondered about the villains in plain sight? Women faced uncomfortable and unsettling experiences at the hands of men during World War II. It's a side of history that often goes untold, and in this video, we'll explore some of the eerie, creepy, and discomforting things men did to women during World War II. The contributions of women during World War II were vast and multifaceted, and they played a pivotal role in the war's outcome. Their efforts not only helped secure victory, but also reshaped societal perceptions of women's roles, paving the way for greater gender equality in the post-war era. But this didn't come without a price. These brave women did a lot for their countries, but once captured, their fate hung in the nook, or even worse. What transpired when the Nazis captured these women is beyond comprehension, plunging them into a world of unimaginable suffering. Be prepared, as the stories of their torment are deeply disturbing. Women labeled as enemies or suspected resistance activities were subjected to relentless torture and unbearable physical abuse. These methods included brutal beatings, electric shocks, waterboarding, and other inhumane tactics aimed at breaking their spirits and extracting vital information. Alongside these horrific physical ordeals, women had to endure even more unbearable punishments such as sexual abuse, discrimination, and relentless mistreatment. The painful reality of sexual violence against women by soldiers during wartime has cast a dark shadow throughout history. Its deliberate use as a weapon of war left a harrowing mark, and this tragic reality was hauntingly exemplified during World War II. Both Allied and Axis forces resorted to rape as a method to sow terror among civilian populations and shatter the morale of enemy troops. What's truly heart-wrenching is that this mistreatment of women isn't limited to times of war. It's an ongoing worldwide tragedy. Women are frequently subjected to unjust trials and swift judgments that lead to their imprisonment or even their untimely demise. Now, try to fathom the additional suffering that women had to endure as a form of punishment during the war. Specifically, women deemed enemies or belonging to targeted groups were condemned to forced labor in the darkest corners of concentration camps and prisons. In these dreadful places, they were coerced into backbreaking, soul-crushing physical work, and often under conditions that defied human dignity. Their bodies were pushed to the very limits, resulting in profound physical and emotional torment. To compound this immense suffering, women also bore the horrific burden of sexual abuse. They endured acts of sexual violence, including rape, inflicted upon them by soldiers, captors, and even fellow prisoners. These acts of brutality were intended to humiliate and exert dominance over these women, causing enduring trauma and indescribable psychological anguish. Yet, even within the depths of this tragic darkness, there were stories of remarkable courage. Among these brave women was Noor Inayat Khan, a figure whose life story is a heartbreaking tale of extraordinary courage, heart-wrenching sacrifice, and profound tragedy. She joined the British Special Operations Executive and became the first female wireless operator dispatched to occupied France. Codenamed Madeline, she worked tirelessly to gather intelligence and transmit vital messages to the Allied forces. Her tireless efforts facilitated the transportation of weapons and explosives to the resistance network, underscoring the significance of her work. Noor's in-depth knowledge of Paris, her proficiency in French, and her unwavering commitment rendered her an invaluable asset. Despite facing constant danger and the ever-present risk of capture, she displayed immeasurable courage. She experienced narrow escapes but was ultimately betrayed and apprehended in Paris. Even when subjected to unspeakable torture and relentless interrogation, Noor refused to provide any information to her captors. She attempted several daring escapes but was eventually consigned to solitary confinement in a prison located in southwestern Germany. For a harrowing span of 10 long months, she endured the cruel conditions of imprisonment, including physical restraints in the form of shackles on her hands and feet. In an unthinkably tragic turn of events, Noor Inayat Khan was executed at the Dachau concentration camp on September 13, 1944, at the tender age of 30. In recognition of her extraordinary contributions, the British government posthumously awarded her the George Cross, making her the sole spy of Indian origin to receive this solemn honor. So far it sounds horrible, doesn't it? Then you wouldn't believe your ears when we continue with this terrific story. But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. Christina Skarbek, also known as Christine Granville and affectionately referred to as Churchill's favorite spy, played a pivotal role in the intricate tapestry of World War II. Skarbek's involvement in the world of espionage commenced long before the war's eruption. Even before the dark clouds of conflict loomed over Europe, she was actively engaged in secret activities. Her early endeavors involved assisting Jewish refugees and providing valuable intelligence to the Polish government. When the ominous shadow of the German invasion fell over Poland in 1939, Skarbek displayed remarkable resilience and resourcefulness. She managed to escape to Hungary, where she subsequently made her way to France. In France, Skarbek joined the Special Operations Executive, and her name quickly rose to prominence as one of the most successful agents. Her missions were nothing short of daring, often taking her deep behind enemy lines. There, she undertook the formidable task of gathering crucial intelligence while simultaneously organizing and nurturing resistance networks. Her bravery and unwavering commitment were evident in every aspect of her work, whether it was smuggling vital documents, securing safe houses, or orchestrating the harrowing rescue of fellow agents from captivity. Yet one of the most harrowing chapters in Skarbek's life unfolded in January 1941. When she and fellow spy Andrzej Kowarski were captured by the Gestapo in Hungary. This marked the beginning of an excruciating period of torture and uncertainty. However, in the face of this grim reality, Skarbek's resourcefulness shone through. A mere 2 days into their brutal interrogation, she made a daring decision. Skarbek bit her tongue, allowing blood to fill her mouth, creating a convincing illusion that she might be suffering from tuberculosis. The Gestapo, alarmed by the potential contagion, decided to release both Christina and Andrei, effectively saving them from the immediate danger that had engulfed them. One of Skarbek's most remarkable achievements was her pivotal role in the liberation of her compatriot, Franciszek Rański, who had been imprisoned by the Gestapo. Skarbek undertook a perilous journey that led her to infiltrate the prison, secure Rański's release, and orchestrate his safe escape. Her espionage work extended across various theaters of war, spanning Poland, France, and Egypt. In recognition of her extraordinary bravery and unwavering dedication to the war effort, Skarbek received numerous awards, including the George Medal and the Order of the British Empire. Tragically, Christina Skarbek's life met a premature end in 1952, not through the perils of wartime, but through an act of violence at the hands of a former lover. Another enduring figure from the annals of history is Odette Sansom, later known as Odette Churchill. Her role in the tumultuous landscape of World War II is nothing short of unforgettable. Born in France, she charted a path that led her to become a British spy and an agent of the Special Operations Executive. She initially joined the Women's Auxiliary Air Force as a driver before transitioning to the first aid nursing yeomanry. However, in 1942, her life took a dramatic turn as she was recruited by the SOE. She underwent rigorous training, preparing her for the covert missions that would define her wartime experience. One of the most defining chapters of Odette's life unfolded in occupied France. In April 1943, she was airdropped into the heart of enemy territory, operating under the codename Lise. Alongside her commanding officer, Captain Peter Churchill, Odette played a crucial role in establishing a network of resistance fighters. Together, they provided invaluable intelligence to the Allies. However, their mission took a perilous turn when they were arrested by the Gestapo in 1943. Despite enduring the daily torment of torture and relentless interrogation, Odette demonstrated extraordinary courage. She refused to divulge any sensitive information and even resorted to falsely confessing to being Churchill's wife, all in an effort to shield him from further harm. Odette's ordeal saw her spend months in various prisons and concentration camps, including the infamous Ravensbrück. Through sheer determination and unwavering resilience, she managed to survive until her liberation in 1845. The fate of most women spies during World War II was nothing short of a nightmare. They often faced brutal torture, were subjected to ruthless acts of violence, and were tragically forced to become unwilling subjects of gruesome experiments. These experiments, conducted in the darkest corner of the war, were aimed at studying the effects of diseases, toxins, drugs, and invasive surgical procedures. They were injected with diseases like malaria, typhus, and tuberculosis, and subjected to experimental drugs and unnecessary surgeries. In a cruel twist, they were also placed in low-pressure chambers and exposed to high-altitude conditions, all in the name of scientific inquiry. These chilling experiments often resulted in severe injuries, including decompression sickness and organ damage. But the horrors didn't stop there. These unfortunate prisoners were also subjected to various chemical and biological agents, including lethal gases such as Zyklon B, which would later be infamously used in mass exterminations during the Holocaust. Do you think that the women who endured so much are celebrated enough? How can we ensure their sacrifices are never forgotten? Please let us know in the comments and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories.